Hello, Market Chameleons. Thanks for joining us for tonight's webinar. It is 6 p.m. We're waiting for Dimitri and Dan to come in. I am going to start the webinar. Ooh, there's the King Chameleon, Dimitri Pargamani.
Hey,
How are you doing, Dima?
Good. How are you doing, Will?
Good. We're waiting for Dan to join. I'm starting the webinar. We have the webinar going in two different places. And there's Dan popping in. Dan from Maker Taker Mentoring. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
How's it going?
Great. So we're live on Zoom and we're also live on YouTube chat. Those on Zoom, please leave your messages for Dan, Dimitri, or myself in the Q&A. And on YouTube, put them in the chat and I will try to get them, as many of them as I can, get back to Dan and Dimitri if those are who are the questions are directed at. Tonight's show will focus on Dan's Maker Taker Mentoring background and what he provides to his students and the people he advises. With that, let me open the poll. This poll is just going to give us a little information about you who are on tonight. Have you ever taken an options education class? Yes or no? I'm going to launch that polling. As the polling's going, why don't you put where you're from in the Q&A? Again, my name is Will McBride. That is the American Stock Exchange for me. And Dimitri and I had a business there for, Jesus, how many years? 10, 15 years? It was a long time. We were on the Stock Exchange.
Yeah, that sounds right. At least that long.
Yep, and we did remote into the CBOE where Dan traded for a lot of years, Dan. How many years were you on the CBOE?
Oh, man. Something like 8, I think, actually trading, something like that. But then clerking before that and doing other stuff after that. Been a long darn time. 28 years in this business.
And you traded on the floor, Dan, is that correct? You not remotely, but you were on the floor of the exchange.
Yeah, I traded as a market maker on the CBOE trading floor in the Ford Motor Company pit.
Oh, very nice.
That's incredible, Dan. I don't know if I've ever mentioned, but when my first job in the business, I was working on the Board of Trade for Iowa Grain, and I was a clerk in the Mid-Am. Well, actually, it was my first bigger job. I was a phone clerk in the Mid-American Exchange, like before, at different hours to make some extra money. But that was so long ago. I actually had hair on my head that long ago. just so everyone knows, 79% have taken a course before, Dan, which is interesting. So a lot of people who are ready to learn are on tonight's call. And before we get fully rowing, D, why don't we get to the disclaimer? How's that?
Yep. So before we get started, everyone, keep in mind, Will and I and Dan, Market Chameleon, we're not registered investment advisors or broker dealers. We're not telling you what to do. We're just sharing ideas. If you need professional help, just call your broker. They could give you guidance, provide you besides guidance, help answer your questions. So there's the disclaimer, everyone.
All right. With that, Dan, you want to, I guess, give us a little more about the background? What you want to, well, get the ball rolling, Dan, whatever you want to get into.
Yeah. How about, what do you guys say I start my formal presentation?
All right.
Yep.
And that will enable us to, I got a couple little stories in there about me.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah. So let's see here. Get this Zoom back up.
Did you paint the color of your office in our honor? It looks like chameleon green back there.
Yeah.
That is Market Taker green.
We all like the color green, that's for sure.
Indeed. All right. I believe you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
PowerPoint slide.
Yep. Looks good.
Then let's do this. So let's see here. Today, I'm going to share with you how you can replace uncertainty with confidence so that you can profit consistently no matter what the market is doing using my simple data-driven, real money proven earnings trading system that literally takes 3 minutes to trade. Let's see here. So I want to premise this. Each of us has the power within us to make trading a source of continuous wealth, right? Today, I'm going to share with you how to unlock that power. This is my promise to you. I'm going to share with you how you can replace uncertainty with confidence so you can profit consistently, no matter what the market's doing, using this simple data-driven, real money proven earnings trading system that hundreds of our students have used to go from that demoralizing feeling we've all felt at some time to a feeling of satisfaction, of self-assurance, that we all know is possible. And that's powerful. That can literally transform your life, because when you're confident, you trade better. And when you trade better, you're more confident. It's this positive circle that's easier to experience than you think. This technique I'm going to share with you makes it all possible. It uses my proprietary earnings trading system. And at the end of this presentation, I'll share with you how you can take the next step and start getting immediate results. What do you guys say? Is that a fair deal? Let me go over to, I think I can pull up questions here, right? Everybody good with that?
Yeah, we got a yes, and sounds good, my friend. Let's get going.
All right, cool. So this is a pictorial representation of who I am, what I do, some of the organizations I've worked with. I traded down on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange, like we were just talking about here, wrote 2 of the most popular books on option trading, these little guys right here. And I've worked with every major options exchange in the US and abroad, as well as pretty much all the options exchanges in the world as well. And I get to be on TV a lot, which is kind of fun. I guess if you spend enough time in any industry, again, 28 years for me, you get to do some cool things. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. I know that some of you have traded earnings in the past. And I know that some of you have not. And here's the thing. If you have traded earnings, I can help you do it better and be more profitable with less risk. And if you've not traded earnings in the past, then let me tell you, you are in the right place at the right time, because I'm the foremost expert on trading earnings. And those of you who know me, Elizabeth, I think you are here in the audience, right? Those of you who know me, you know that I'm definitely not like cocky or arrogant or anything like that. It's not about ego or anything. I'm saying it because of my experience. And that alone should be why you follow other successful people in this business, because their experience proves that they know when and how to take money from the market. And I'm here today to share exactly what I look for in that process. And I'm definitely not shy about saying it. And I'm not saying trading is easy by any means either, but I've got my strategy down to a simple 3-minute scan that will blow your mind. And today I'm going to share that process with you. Now, here's my story. Do you guys mind if I tell a quick story? Would that be okay?
No, I love options stories.
All right. Well, this is a picture of me with my little sister. It's probably 1979 or something. And like a lot of kids, they say, oh, I want to be a doctor when I grow up, fireman, teacher, whatever it is. But I wanted to be a trader even at that age, which I understand is a little bit weird, but I did. And I saw traders on TV and in the movies growing up in Chicago. They're on the local news, see them in their jackets in the financial district and on the train. And it excited me to think like, hey, people can make money and a lot of money doing this. So right out of college, I took a stack of my resumes and went job shopping. I literally knocked on every door of the Chicago Board of Trade building, handing out those resumes. And lo and behold, guess what happened? I got a job. And that's where I cut my teeth. My first salary out of college was making $9,000 a year. My friends were making, 30, 40 grand a year. And I clerked for 4 years. So I figure I basically paid about $100,000 in foregone salary for my education. But I worked my way up from there, from runner to becoming one of the biggest traders in my pit. And I actually started trading in 1998, and life was good. I was living the dream. At that point, it might have been the best time in 30 years to be where I was. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Trading was easy. You could make some mistakes and still make money. Because do you remember what was going on in 1998? The internet bubble, right? The internet bubble. Type yes. Let Will and Dimitri know. Did you trade during the internet bubble? Give me a yes if you traded during the internet bubble, or a no if you didn't.
All right. So for all those people on Zoom, you are about, I don't know, 15 seconds ahead of YouTube. Please let us know if you were trading the late 90s, early 2000s during the internet boom. I know, D, you were in Yahoo. What other products were you trading then, D? Rambus, Yahoo?
Well, when we were there, we actually in the pits, because at that time you could only trade like kind of what's in front of you. It wasn't streaming. So I was in the Yahoo pit. And then I think I can't even remember all the different names because a lot of them don't exist anymore, but a lot of them were either internet or networking stocks and just technology stocks in general were booming back then, but anything dealing with internet and networking was a big deal. And so was semiconductors.
Dell, you remember Dell? Dell was a hot one for a while.
Dell was, I think, weren't you in the Dell pit at one time? You're in the Dell pit and then you were in the Rambus pit. I was like in this SNDL, like I remember like a bunch.
Right?
Huh?
SMGI? I forget the names. Yeah.
Yeah, like a bunch of high flyers that didn't exist after a while. But
all right,
I think that's to your point, right, Dan, that a lot of these stocks that were up back then, a lot of enthusiasm.
Let me get to it.
Okay.
So to answer the question, we've got quite a few yeses and a few nos. So you have some people just started. Adesh has only started trading this year. We've a couple other no's, two young, which is nice for them, and a few yeses like Dimitri and I, the old guys.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. People who said no. Well, so this opportunity I'm going to share with you can make the same sort of gains, and it's just as easy to trade, if not easier, because it was kind of easy back then. Now here's where I was going with this, Dimitri. This old internet bubble, like you guys remember what happened, right? And in fact, what happens eventually with all bubbles, they all pop. And for the most part, when the internet bubble burst, didn't really, look all cute like this. It looks a lot more like this. This is basically what happened to a lot of people. And I don't really talk about this a lot, but this is kind of what happened for me. I had never seen a crash like this in my career at that point. And back then I didn't know how to handle it. In some ways I did better than some, but it was bad. All of a sudden, nothing worked as it had before. Trades I'd normally crush weren't making money. I started to lose my confidence. I was constantly second guessing myself. And I'll never forget the one time when I just got completely run over by a trade. I lost $500,000 in a single day. And that night I had to go home and have a conversation with my wife. The plan before that was to put my next bonus away for my kids' college fund. And that bonus was now gone. College fund is gone. And I wondered if I would still have a job after that day. I wondered if I'd be able to keep my house. Now everything was different. But that's when I knew that I had to create a trading system that works in all market scenarios. And as fate would have it, at that moment, I was presented with an opportunity. And it's funny how opportunities tend to come at the right time, right? When you get an opportunity, what do? Like if somebody says 1, 2, 3, boom, what do? You take that step, right? There are two types of people in this world. There's people who second guess everything. They're always looking back and not forwards, who hesitate. And then there are people who take action, create success. And from the outside, it seems like they're always getting lucky, but that's not really it, is it? They take action. Now, like many opportunities, this opportunity that I was presented with changed my life and set me down the path that I'm on today. The exchange asked me to come and teach classes for them, and I found that this is my calling. At that time, I started trading in a regular non-professional trading account like you. I was learning a different way to trade than I was used to. And I discovered that there were strategies that I wasn't using on the trading floor, or at least not trading them the same way, that were very powerful. that could make money in all market conditions, up or down, volatile or calm. And that is what led me to creating this earnings trading system that I use and all our top performing traders use. Now, let's go back to simpler days. This is a chart of Goldman Sachs pre-market crash. Goldman was up 23% during this 12-month period. I have another poll for you because I like these polls. Would you be happy with a 23% return in a year? Now, I know there's a 15-second delay, so I'll kind of pause. So if you can, answer as soon as possible, because I want to take a little bit of a poll here. Would you be happy with a 23% return in a year? It's not a rhetorical question. I actually want to know.
So the question was that you want them answered, a 10% return in a year. Would they take that?
A 23, would you be happy with a 23% return in a 1 year period?
Well, Wilkins says, oh yeah. So I'm assuming he's very happy with that. We have 2 people on YouTube who have said, yes, they are very happy with a 23% return. Yes. Okay. Another yes. Well, and then we have 2 nopes, Abdul and Elizabeth. And I think Elizabeth is one of your students.
Yes, she told me she was going to come by tonight. Thanks for stopping by, Elizabeth. Well, I'll tell you what. I kind of like the answer no. I like it a lot. 23% a year is tough for some people, but what if I told you that there's literally a strategy that it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down, you can still make money consistently, really good money, maybe more than 23%. Here's the big news. Traders can do better than returns like these in all markets, and you have to. Interest rates are near zero. That's bad for banks. The market's very volatile and hard to predict. That's bad for money managers. But you know what saved firms like Goldman Sachs lately? Their trading units. So look here. Goldman has 36,600 employees. Average salary is $367,564. And that includes like the interns that go out and get coffee and the dry cleaning, right? And that doesn't count bonuses. And traders trade for the bonuses. That's a total of $13.5 billion in salary before bonuses. In order for Goldman Sachs to make enough money to be able to retain enough money after paying $13.5 billion and then bonuses, for their stock to go up 23%, they need to make hundreds of percent a year. These are the kind of trades professional traders make. That's why they make 300 or 400 grand a year before those gigantic bonuses. When I started on the trading floor, I started with a $30,000 account. Making trades like this daily, weekly, monthly enabled me to turn that $30,000 into, a lot more than 23% a year. That's what's possible. This is what traders are doing every day. And it's not just professional traders. This is Vic. He's one of our traders who trades our earnings system. And Vic said, I've only been trading for about a year, but 2020 was one of the most difficult years, if not the most difficult year to trade, especially for a newbie like me. In spite of all the challenges, huge market ups and downswings throughout the year, and all the crazy stuff happening, I actually did pretty well overall, increasing my account value by over 30% between June 20th, when I went live, and the end of the year. Now that comes out to about a 60% annualized return, and he's brand new to option trading. Like, imagine what you can do with a little experience. So there are several advantages to earnings trading. First of all, they're market independent. We don't care if the underlying stock goes up or down. I was talking with Guy Adami earlier this past week, and we both agreed that we can't pick direction on earnings. Nobody can. That's our belief. And so I came up with a strategy where you don't have to pick direction. They're also very short term on each trade, which limits broad market exposure. If the market's trending higher or it's in a bear market, it doesn't matter. There's a very potentially greatly leveraged profit on each trade. There's a simple yes/no test to screen the trades. Opportunities are concentrated in a very short period of time. The biggest week of opportunities is coming up in 2 weeks, April 26th. In fact, remember that date. Write that date down, April 26th. And underneath it in big capital letters, right? Be ready, and underline it 3 times. All right. April 26th, be ready. That's when there are literally hundreds of earnings trading opportunities that week. And opportunities are the lifeblood of trading. It's about having an investor's mentality, right? So I believe we are at the beginning of a life-changing time to trade. And so when is the best time to get started? Maybe we'll wait until next week, maybe the week after, maybe next month. Let's rest this quarter. We'll start next quarter, next year. Like, I think maybe you can agree with me, right now is the best time to get started in any of this. 1, 2, 3, boom, do it. Now, the most important thing about earnings trading is that they work. And it wasn't until I was a trader, like most traders attending this webinar, trading in a regular retail account, that I discovered the power of time spreads for earnings. And ironically, after trading thousands of time spreads on the trading floor and honing my skills with them, mostly in the form of risk management and execution, I learned the last 10% nuance that pushed the power of time spreads over the top for me in a rather unique way. So this is probably about 6 years ago. Long story short, I found myself on the phone with one of the producers for Bloomberg Television. And this is my first time going to be on national or global TV, right? And I said, well, what do you want to talk about? I was a little bit excited, to tell you the truth. I said, well, what do you want to talk about? He said, look, Apple has earnings coming out tomorrow. I want you to share with our viewers a strategy to trade Apple going into earnings. And I was like, oh no, this is terrible. I didn't say that, but I thought that. And I was like, okay, hold on 1 second. I'll call you right back. Because just like I was saying, when me and Guy Dami were talking earlier this week, like we agreed, like you can't pick direction on earnings. In fact, I was never allowed to trade earnings by my risk manager when I was a professional trader. I was one of the biggest traders in my pit, and my boss would not let me have a position going into earnings. And that was very common. Most professional traders don't trade earnings. So I'd never done it before. And so one thing that those of you who know me well know about me is that I always put my money where my mouth is. If I'm going to talk about a trade in front of hundreds of millions of people, I'm going to have that trade on. It's just a moral thing with me. So I went over to my computer and I'm like, okay, how can I trade this? Can't buy calls or puts because I can't guess direction. Can't sell like cash secured puts because the risk is just way disproportionate. Not even credit spreads. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and then I was like, I don't know, let's try a time spread. And so I looked at it, I was like, holy cow, this is a great trade. I love this. It's so strong. So I immediately put the trade on. I went, I did the interview. The trade made money, worked like a charm, and I was hooked after that. And later I'll share with you that I came across some data that proved that this is no fluke. Black and white proof. When the right criteria are met, this is a genuine consistency trade that can be used over and over again to crank out consistent profits with confidence during earnings season and even during retail earnings season, which is after that. Now, crash course for those of you who are newer to options on time spreads, and a 60-second review for those of you who are familiar with them. A time spread is when I buy a longer term option and then I sell an option with less time until expiration with the same strike price. Both are calls, both are puts. And the data show that these usually work out great for earnings, which you'll see on the next slide, when certain criteria are met. Now, that's really important. I'm definitely not saying, yeah, just go out and trade time spreads on every earnings trade. Hey, that would be a disaster. That would not work. But when certain criteria are met, these work out great. Other times when other criteria are met, we use straddles, or there's a couple other strategies we might use. These are often weak when it comes to trading earnings because of the volatility run up. But when we do our yes/no test, we'll show that there are times, less than 5% of the time, when we do use a different strategy. But we're going to mostly stick to time spreads. Let's look at why. There's a lot of data here. And don't get too hung up on trying to read all the numbers. Later, I'll explain how to simplify all of this. For now, here's what's important. Look here. Here's what this slide shows. If you sell short-term options the day before an earnings event, they lose value greatly once earnings are announced the next trading session, which is good. Now, longer term options also lose their value between putting them on the day before earnings and taking them off after the announcement. But the key element of this observation is that short-term options, the ones you're short, lose way more value than the long-term ones that you're long. So what this means and essentially proves is that when certain criteria are met, trading time spreads around an earnings event is effectively a long-run, consistent winning strategy. And you can see the results right here. Now, this is where Market Chameleon comes in. Our earnings class is by far the most profitable class for our students based on feedback. I used to teach this class and I would teach this class and I would go through each trade that we're analyzing, each opportunity, and I would literally use this $3.99 solar calculator to calculate, certain things. And, like some of my students were like, Dan, isn't there an easier way? I'm like, I'm sure there is, but I don't know what it is. And so I looked around and I actually didn't even know Will and Dimitri before this. I looked for platforms and I came across Market Chameleon and I was like, this is freaking great. I'm like, this makes it so easy to analyze earnings trades in the methodology that I do. And since then, now we're friendly and talk all the time and get to share Market Chameleon with my folks. And I get the opportunity to talk with the Market Chameleon folks here today. So you'll get the opportunity to see how all this works in a second, in a few minutes. These are basically the steps to follow this system through earnings season. There are a few details involved, but this is basically the gist of it. So if you're taking notes, write this down. First, we find all stocks that have options listed on them that have earnings coming out after the close today or before the earnings tomorrow morning. We do that every trading day during earnings season, right? With me? That's very important. We can find several trades a day, and sometimes there are hundreds of opportunities, for example, like the week of April 26th, where there are literally hundreds. We screen those trades using the yes-no screen technique to see if we should continue on with the potential trade. This is your first step and will literally save you hours and hours of your precious time and make your life so much better. Not to mention, it'll ensure you're only trading the best trades. The ones with edge, meaning they have a statistical advantage in your favor. So then your win rate increases and your winners are bigger, right? That's exactly what you want. So we only continue on with trades that have a positive term structure of volatility, and the greater the disparity in the term structure, the better. This step is critical. That's what I did on the trading floor every day, and then put it into our earnings trading system to make it simple for anyone to follow. Next, we run the is-was check by modeling the spread on tomorrow's days with a variant vol crush on both the long-term and the short-term options based on a partial reversion to the mean, but also relative to realized volatility and compared to the past to get the modeled endurable gap. Okay. The modeled endurable gap is just my way of making this completely foolproof in black and white, so it's super easy for you. Once you have that, you'll know exactly which trades to put on and which to stay away from. Now, here is where most people go wrong. We need to put the trade on the session immediately before earnings. This is a less than 24-hour trade, and that's critical. We follow the MTM proprietary earnings trade technique that I just shared and exit the trade at the precise time the following day. And everyone screws this part up. But I'll share with you how you can get the timing right later. Then it's just rinse, wash, repeat. Now, here's an example from the real market. This is McDonald's, and this is how it works. I just go through the checklist that I put together for our students. It's a spreadsheet. I put it all into a spreadsheet. I'll tell you more about that later that I share with all our students. And this is the time spread that was identified with the yes-no test and after running the is-was gaps. So I sold, you can sell to open 10 McDonald's 4-day to expiration, 165 calls at $1.75. And at the same time, as part of one single trade, bought to open 10 McDonald's 11-day to expiration, 165 calls at 211. We paid a total of 36 cents. Then the following day, once the right criteria are met, we simply close the trade by selling the one we were long and buying back the one we were short. So we bought to close 10 of the now 3-day to expiration, 165 calls at $1.29, and sold to close 10 of the McDonald's now 10-day, it was 11 days yesterday, now it's 10 days, 165 calls at $1.81. So the next day we took in 52 cents. So this trade made 16 cents on a 36-cent trade. That's 44%. Let's make this more tangible. If you bought a 10 lot, you've had invested $360 and made $160, right? Factoring commissions, of course, and this is a solid trade. Now notice, and this is important, I wanted to make this as clear as possible. So I assumed buying the offer and selling the bid for presentation purposes. But in reality, because the bid-ask spreads were so wide, particularly on closing the trade, which is almost always the case, if I'd have used our technique for middling the market, profit would likely have been a bare minimum of 20 cents better, which is $200 more on the 10 lot, which is more like 100% return in this case. But again, I just wanted to show this example in a pure, unarguable way. In reality, managing the bid-ask spread on closing the trade is where most people go wrong. People leave thousands of dollars on the table every earnings season by not doing this one part right. The results that I show here are good, and it's sort of the worst case scenario, but they can be great. Now, I want to make this very realistic and show you exactly how this works in the real market, in real life, when you middle the market using the MTM 25-20 middling technique. These are some screenshots of my actual account on an earnings trade that I actually made in a past earnings season. This is Oxy. So I went through our checklist with the right criteria lined up. So it dictated that I trade this time spread, and I bought to open 20 of the February 22nd 66 calls at $1.49 and sold short 20 of the February 15th 66 calls at $1.31. So I paid 18 cents. But look, the ones that I had to buy the February 22nd, they were offered at $1.50, but I didn't pay $1.50. I paid less. I paid $1.49. And the ones I had to sell, they were $1.30 bid, but I didn't sell them at $1.30. I sold them for more, $1.31. I did 10% better on this trade. I was starting out 10% above a lot of other traders. So the next day, I waited until the precise time when all the criteria line up, and I put in my offer, just following the system, to sell at 30 cents. And I got filled, but I only got filled on 2 of them. So just, again, following the system, I stepped down to 27 cents, got filled on the rest, and that comes out to about a 51.7% profit in one day, which is about $279 in money terms minus commissions. Now, so those are 2 just way solid trades. Do all my trades work out exactly like that? No, not all do. Sometimes trades go against you. It's going to happen. And here's one that did. I made this trade a few earnings seasons ago as well in MGM. I bought 30 of the March 1st 29 puts at 91 cents. And I sold 30 of the February 15th 29 puts at 71 cents. I paid 20 cents. And the next day, this thing really got away from me. But I had my plan. I had my checklist to follow right there. I didn't panic and, lose a bunch of money. I just waited until the criteria lined up and the 3 things that need to happen happened. I put in my order and I was able to close it out at 19 cents, which is a 5% loss in one day. And that really got away from me. So they're manageable. And I can just go on and on sharing trades like this. This is one in Las Vegas Sands. Bought 15 of the May 3rd 66 calls, sold 15 of the April 18th 68 calls, paid a total of 50 cents. The next day, waited for the 3 things to line up on my checklist, closed it at 70 cents. That's a 40% profit in one day, actually less than 24 hours, which is about $300 of money minus commissions. So the key here is consistency. It's driving consistent profits. If you can make $300 on one trade, $500 on another, $280 on another, and there are hundreds of opportunities in a single week, like the week of April 26th, how much money do you think you can make in just that 1 week with, hundreds of opportunities to analyze, right? Make 300 here, 500 here, 280 here, 700 here, it starts to add up, right? That's why a consistent system is so powerful. And that's why management is so important. Makes sense? Management makes money. That's the 3 M's of trading. Management makes money. If you can follow a checklist, finding, analyzing, setting up, and making the trade is simple, and closing simple too. We simply take it off the next day, but it requires a little nuance. And I'll share a resource to make those nuances simple, super simple for you in just a moment. This is a system. Work the system, and the system works. So let's talk about realistic expectations here. How often can I find trades like this? All throughout earnings season. In fact, like there are thousands, like there's hundreds in just 1 week sometimes. Are these returns common? Yeah, I literally shared with you screenshots of my actual trades from my actual account. What if the trade doesn't work out? I showed you that too. They're not all going to work out, but risk is limited and, more importantly, management and can manageable and can be a small fraction of possible gains. Look, we have traders in our online community chat room who are some of our top money making students. They're really successful, just regular folks like you and me who post their trades live, real time for everyone to see, who have made the decision to be profitable, to simply do it. They made that choice. And by the way, I'm going to share with you in a moment how you can get free access to that MTM community chat room for 6 months and see their trades every day, and my trades too during earnings season. Now, here's how to make this work. This is a simple process that anyone can follow. Timing is urgent with earnings season actually going to start tomorrow. And you can make the next 6 months your best months of the year and repeat that success in future earnings seasons throughout your entire trading career and finally make your trading easy. And it is about time, isn't it? Time is the most valuable thing in the world, especially for traders and investors. Isn't it better to make an investment sooner rather than later? Like, this is an investor's mentality that all traders must have, right? Like, when would you like to have bought Tesla stock? Friday or 5 years ago, right? I think that answer is easy. Waiting and passing up quarter after quarter of foregone profits doesn't make sense. And look, time's valuable every day as well. This earning system literally takes 3 minutes to trade. It's following a simple checklist. It takes all the guesswork out. Anybody can do this. And not only does that save you time, but it reduces your stress level and you trade better. Are you getting this? This is the Total Earnings All Access Premium Package. In this course, I'm going to share with you how to replace uncertainty with confidence so you can profit consistently no matter what the market's doing using my simple, data-driven, real money proven total earnings domination system. And here is just some of what you'll learn. How to easily scan the market for earnings trades, where to get real-time data that pinpoint the winning earnings trades, the best time of day for entries and exits, the yes-no screen technique blueprint, the earnings time spread checklist for max gains and minimizing your losses, calculating the as-was gaps, how to manage the wide bid-ask spread on the trades. So you now have a new opportunity to trade more consistently using a strategy that works in all market conditions, to get a blueprint for earnings tradings and watch live setups of earnings trades so you can easily follow along. And to make the next few weeks your top performing weeks yet. This is our Total Earnings Domination 6-month all access premium package. First, let me share with you what you're going to get with this class. You begin with the brain dump training of this class, the Secret to Trading Earnings Bootcamp video. I'm going to put 28 years of my experience into your head with one video. This is the keys to the kingdom. This is a $2,995 value. Why is it $2,995? Because if you can make the kind of money we're talking about consistently on earnings trades throughout this earnings season and for the rest of earnings seasons this year and forever, this small one-time investment can pay you over and over again for the rest of your life. And as you can see, there is no auto renewal on any of this. But isn't it important for you to make sure that you can put that knowledge to use, that you can actually do it? Today, you're going to get hands-on training. Starting on April 26th, you'll log in and watch me trade live using real money in a real money account. So you'll see exactly what to do as you follow along with me. You'll literally see the system being traded in the live market, and you'll make your first trade together with me as a group. This is the ultimate hands-on training. And we literally want you to have this mastered. So you're also getting our 4-part on-demand video masterclass, Earnings Trading Techniques from 2 decades on the CBOE trading floor. You'll know exactly what to do every time. This puts the power into your hands. And you'll have questions. So you're also getting 6 months of the MTM community chat room. You'll log in and get all your questions answered by me or our other coaches. But another huge sort of secret benefit I shared with you earlier is that the MTM community chat room is where our top money-making students log in and share their trades live real time. This is an all-access premium package valued at $7,437. But I want to make this a complete no-brainer, completely irresistible, so you can confidently, immediately join us right now. A 1,000,000-mile journey begins with the first step, and this is that step. Join us now for a special attendee price of $497 by going to markettaker.com/live. Market, like stock market, taker, like take what is rightfully yours, 2 T's in a row, markettaker.com/live. And you'll join us for a 93% off discount of only $497. 1, 2, 3, boom. Now, this is limited to the first 30 subscribers who join us right now at markettaker.com/live. Now, why would I give a 93% off discount? Because earnings season starts tomorrow. And I want you to be one of the 1,000 trader success stories that we strive to create this year. People who take action are the ones that can be great traders. When you see an opportunity, you fearlessly act on it. So I reward the traders who will move forward with us today. This 93% discount applies to the first 30 people to join us at markettaker.com/live. Now, here's an extra special bonus not on the last slide. I want to make sure this works for everyone, regardless of your experience level as an option trader. Even if you're brand new to option trading and never made an option trade, to make sure this works for you, today you're going to get the Options Impact Video Quick Start course. This on-demand course levels the playing field for beginner option traders. It covers all the basics you need to begin trading options confidently. Even if you've never traded an option before, you'll be able to start trading like someone who's been trading successfully for years. And this will put you on the fast track. Now, this is the big one here. Action taker, and not everybody's going to get this bonus. Action takers, you are going to get this course that every one of our top traders has gone through. We're going to share live weekly drill down master sessions together. This is the MTM Trade Smart Workshop online education series. This is where I pull back the curtain. Each month, we pick a different topic to drill down on, and I personally teach class and give you near expert understanding on it so you can achieve mastery as an options trader. Now, I can't open this bonus up to 30 people. I just can't. I can only invite a handful of traders so that I can manage this process with you, because I take this very personally. Like, you are investing in your success today, and so am I. I want to have quality control. So it's essential I keep this part of the class very, very small. The next webinar happens in a matter of days, and that special presentation continues the Gaining Edge with Simple Math series that we're doing this month, which is kind of at the heart of the total earnings domination system, really any option trading system. If you can't make these classes that are on Thursday afternoons live, these are all recorded for you with your password access. You'll instantly get access to the class you're doing this month, as well as hands-on option trade adjustments that we did last month, hands-on portfolio management and protection that we did the month before, how Dan Passarelli trades options, that's my methodology, and more. This is a $1,794 value. I'm opening this up only to the first 12 people who join us right now. This is our fast action bonus. So 1, 2, 3, boom. You will definitely want to be one of the first 12 to join us. And look, this earnings season, I believe this is one of the most, if not the most important earnings season in the entire history of the stock market. Analysts are waiting this quarter to see what earnings are to give guidance for the future. And that means traders can make more money than they ever have before. This process is starting tomorrow. Earnings season starts tomorrow. When you enroll today, you'll have just enough time to get through the brain dump training of watching the bootcamp video, watching the masterclass, and to be ready for that first live class on Monday, April 26th. These are the 5 most important classes you will take this year, maybe this decade, literally. This earnings season is the opportunity of a lifetime for those who choose to put that opportunity into action. So it's go time. For those of you who have been waiting for the right trading opportunity, this is an opportunity to make that change. Now, I used to give this class for 1 quarter. I figured that's enough time, 3 months. But there were some people who said, hey, you know, I have a busy schedule. I'm not gonna be able to attend some of this. Is there any way I can have more time? So I decided to this time not just give you 93% off, but also to double the amount of time and make this a premium package. So you're getting a full 6 months. So not only will you get the live earnings classes, the hands-on training the week of April 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, but you'll also get the live sessions that we do during that big week in July's earnings season also. Now, these 5 hands-on sessions are all 100% totally live. If you can't make it, they're all recorded, but you'll want to watch them later that day so you don't get behind. I revealed the top earnings trades of each day during these 5 classes. And I'm going to prove that anyone can do this regardless of experience or account size. So here's my guarantee to you. I am actually trading these trades live with real money so you can see exactly how it's done and follow along. And in fact, I'm using less than a $10,000 account to show you that anyone can do it regardless of account size. So right now is go time, markettaker.com/live. And I want you to meet Jill from Cincinnati, Ohio. She joined our class, it was a couple of quarters ago. One of the first trades she did together with us during those live coaching sessions. She bought a Microsoft time spread along with me that met our criteria. She bought the spread at $2.65. The next day, she sold it at $3.75 for a 41.5% profit. And she posted it live real time in the MTM community chat room that you'll have access to. And that chat room, again, is where all our top money-making students log in and post their trades live real time. If all you got out of this total earnings domination package today was to watch some of our top 6-figure traders posting their trades real time during earnings season so you can follow along, wouldn't it be worth it just for that? Now, I want to take some questions, particularly questions about this total earnings domination all access premium package so that you can make the decision to join us today. Do we have any questions yet, guys?
Wow. I had a question like 30 minutes ago, but I had to say when Dan stops talking and you didn't stop. So I got to roll back the tape to get to, well, first of all, Daniel, and I don't remember when it was, but by the way, that was one hell of a presentation, Dan. I mean, that was super interesting. And I did post, so everyone knows, your links both in the Zoom and in the YouTube live. We did have Keith Rowland. He said he just signed up, looking forward to it. So you do have one person who's super interested in getting to know you and your community, which is great.
Good job, Keith.
Daniel asked, is it valid? Do you trade weekly options? Is basically the question for Daniel and Wilkin, or is it always time spreads?
Well, I mean, bear in mind, you can trade time spreads on weekly options. And yeah, I prefer using the weeklies for the total earnings domination system. I don't exclusively do it. If there's no weeklies, I will still do the analysis, but it usually works out better on names that have weeklies and then doing the time spread or whichever strategy triggers. Yeah.
All right. That was there are no other questions popping up. Anyone ever have any other questions for the total earnings domination package that Dan is presenting tonight, or any questions for Dan in general? I know we have earnings really kicking off this week. I think the banks kick off this week, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do.
So we got the banks kicking off, which is always the start of, I think it's Wednesday. I think we have JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. Do you see anything interesting coming, say, in the bank, Stan, or is that too much information? Bank of America, I think, is Thursday. Citi is also Thursday. So it's a start of their earnings week, everyone. So it's an important piece of definitely the trading portfolio. A lot of chameleons trade the earnings. So I'm sure.
I think there is, somebody asking, they joined your site, how they find the risk checklist. So somebody wants to know that.
Mark Cohen jumped in. Sorry, thanks, D. I didn't see that. He said, I find the risk checklist on your site. He's got a question. He signed up and wants to find the risk checklist. I'm assuming you mentioned that in your presentation.
Yeah. So everything that you need, Mark, it was, right? Mark Cohen?
Mark Cohen,
Yep.
Yeah. Mark, everything that you need, since you just signed up, and anybody else who signed up, you just got an email that has your username and password. Log in. If you've already been one of our students, you might have to log out of the site and log back in. But if you don't see your email, you check your email and you don't see it, if it's been more than like 5 minutes, check your junk or spam folder. It happens sometimes, right? But then, just simply log in, scroll down to the total earnings domination package, and everything that you need is in there. It's reasonably self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, you can email me or Kathleen and we'll take great care of you. Because I'm excited about this. I'm excited for you.
All right. We also had the last question was from Jean Pan, and she was asking, what was the piece of the package that was only available for basically 12 people, or the people tonight? I guess it was restrictive because of how much interaction you have with them. Potentially, I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's restricted. Yeah, it's actually restricted for kind of two reasons. One is because it is very interactive. Like, I kind of get to know the folks who attend the class, at least the ones that do live, and really answer a lot of questions. Like, we really drill down. But like, also, honestly, like I am hell-bent on this year creating 1,000 trader success stories. And people who are wishy-washy and can't make the decision, they have to ask their mom every trade they make, I like to say, I'm weeding them out and rewarding the people who are ready to go and have this investor's mentality. So, it's part, I want to keep it small so it's interactive, but it's part of reward to you. Like, if you can make trading decisions, you have an investor's mentality, you're getting a bonus.
So we do have a question. This is not about the market take care domination package. This is related to 1 week trading, 1 week a quarter. So I guess describe maybe, and Dimitri, you could do this as well. NQ is asking, so what is, I guess, earnings trading? He, in his mind, it's only 1 week a quarter. And that's not true. Actually, earnings happen almost weekly, right, D? We have for those who don't know, Dimitri and I do a morning show where we go through things we're seeing on Market Chameleon, sometimes earnings, sometimes vol related, a lot of different things we talk about using our site. And you can find earnings all the time, but there's a period within the quarter that there are more opportunities than usual. Isn't that the case, Dan, Dimitri?
Yeah, that's totally the case. I say the week of April 26th is the one to really be ready for it, because there are literally like hundreds of announcements a day that week. And the week after that, there are literally hundreds of announcements a day. And then it kind of starts to taper off a little bit. But I mean, it starts tomorrow. There's like a good, at least 5-week period where like there's tons of earnings being announced. And then the month after that is when all the retailers announce their earnings. And then sort of the 1 month in between every quarter, there's still announcements. It's just not as many.
It's very slow NQ. And then also, it's partly media driven, right? This week, I guarantee you go on to CNBC, Bloomberg, numerous points during the day, pre-market, after hours, they'll talk about coming earnings, what's going on. After hours, they'll talk about what just announced. So it takes up the airwaves too. So a lot of people are engaged in it. Is what makes it, interesting, and also provides for the opportunity. And Dan, that was a great hour. Thanks so much, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for asking me, Will and Dimitri. I really appreciate it. And
thank you, Dan.
Yeah, thanks. And hey, welcome to all our new students. Congratulations. Great job moving forward.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear people took Dan up on his offer. Again, a little self-promotion. Dimitri and I do a morning show every morning, 9 a.m. to 9:30 before the market gets going. Dan, if you ever wanted to join us there, we'd love to have you on.
Oh, fun.
Thanks for putting some time together for us tonight, everybody. It was a good hour. As always, Dan, have a great start to the trading season, and hopefully lots of people join Dan starting on the 26th. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks, Dan.